That up because joining me now is House Minority Whip Steny Hoyer, and Congressman Hoyer, you have been in leadership for a long time, and you've been on both sides of the equation. You've been in the I think more enviable position of scheduling votes and figuring out what the House should vote on, and in leadership, and you've been on the minority side. Can you tell me with a straight face that you or Nancy Pelosi would have any tolerance for this kind of thing coming from the Republicans in the minority when you were running that chamber?
Look, I think the majority always wants to have the floor run smoothly and have issues that it wants considered. Very frankly, if we were in the majority right now, we would have brought this bill to the floor. And if the majority of Republicans or the overwhelming number of Republicans wanted to vote against it, so be it. This is not a revolt by necessarily the Democrats. We are standing up for 85 to 90% of Americans who believe the two bills we want to bring to the floor, and not just in light of the tragedy at Orlando, but the 33,000 other deaths that have occurred as a result of guns in the past year or on an average year. That's what we're standing for, and we think that those bills ought to be brought to the floor, not because Democrats are asking that they be brought to the floor, but because 85 to 90% of the American people believes that if somebody's on the terrorist no-fly list, they ought not to be able to buy a gun and put them and their families and their communities at risk. And they also believe that if somebody wants to buy a gun, as this assailant did in Orlando just a couple of days before he murdered 49 people, that they ought to pass a background check, and it ought to be a universal background check. There ought to be no loopholes in that where they can buy it at a gun show or they can buy it someplace else, or the 3 days runs and they haven't been able to check the record. We think that the American people believe those are common sense matters. And let me say, our friends in the NRA say guns don't kill people. People kill people. Well, if we accept that premise, then we don't want to have people who are going to kill people get guns to do so with.
Congressman, respectfully, Congressman, by the last tally, there's about 650,000 Americans across the various watch lists, which I believe are covered in the current legislation. The Collins proposal in the Senate is a sort of more stringent list. Do you believe that all 650,000 people on that list want to kill people?
Of course not. Absolutely not. And if they're checked out and the FBI can clear them, or, frankly, they have some process of getting their names off the watch list. But very frankly, I think the American public want to make sure that people who are getting particularly guns that can kill a lot of people in a very short period of time are sold only to those people that can be trusted not to commit violent acts.
Congressman Steny Hoyer, House Democratic Whip, thank you for making time tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.